Every occasion is better with a good cigar. That's why Shane and Randy created a uniquely wild business. They got a great deal on a 73 Airstream, and Old Stogie Company Mobile Cigar Lounge was born. Serving Victoria and the Crossroads area, this 31-foot vintage Airstream with its custom interior and outdoor seating options will elevate your event and impress your friends. Enjoy comfy benches, custom built, and walls made of reclaimed Hurricane Harvey fence slats. You could say Old Stogie Company was literally built on whiskey and cigar smoke. The next step in this crazy venture was to educate the public about cigars and the culture surrounding them. So the Old Stogie Radio Show was born. Here they are, your hosts for the next half hour. It's Randy Pollard and Shane Blucker, a.k.a. the Old Stogies.
Well, thank you, Stacy. We are the Old Stogies. I'm Randy.
And I would be Shane.
Are you sure? He had to look at the name badge. We have Old Stogie Company, 31-foot Airstream trailer that we built a mobile cigar lounge into. She's beautiful. She's comfortable. We take her around the Crossroads areas for wedding receptions, private corporate events, bachelor parties. Heck, last February, Shane, we did a Super Bowl party, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Boy, that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. So we are available for rent. Go to our website for the rates, times, and all the amenities. So, Shane, how was your weekend?
Busy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a great weekend. We were at the Breckenridge Event Center.
Yeah?
Doing the what is it? The chili spill.
Chili spill.
Just a huge cook-off.
You didn't really spill any chili, did you?
A little on my shirt.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. But they had all kind of cook-off stuffs out there. They had
Lord. Well, we had the lady in last week that talked about everything.
Bridget.
Bridget.
Yeah,
she was great. But I mean, there was 30 different types of food that they were cooking.
There was tons. Every time I turn around, I was a little disappointed I didn't see the fried squirrel. I'm just saying.
I don't know if you looked hard enough.
Well, maybe not. Maybe you're exactly right. Maybe that's why I didn't see it. I didn't look hard enough. But I
wanted to be a judge. I know you wanted to be one too.
Yeah, I wanted to be a judge. Yeah. Because I'm judgmental like that. So
yeah, you're very judgmental.
Thank you.
You're a judgy person.
Thank you very much. I don't like the way you said that. Therefore, consider yourself judged.
There was a lot of great food out there. We did get to sneak some samples. Some of the guys cooking.
Yeah, got a
obviously,
few samples
understandably proud of their stuff. They'd bring in a taste or two, and it's just, oof, man.
Yeah, and met some cool people and sold some cigars. And
I love talking with people. I mean, it doesn't matter what the person does for a living.
Yeah.
I just like talking to somebody that's an expert, I guess,
yeah.
in what they do.
Yeah.
Because I like to listen to the passion in their voice when they talk about it.
Yeah, that's very true.
We met that one cook, and oh, Lord forgive me, I can't think of his name right now, but he's an awesome guy. I met him in Cuero.
Yes.
And I mean, something as simple as he sprays his ribs with apple juice. You think, what?
Yeah.
But man, when he tells a story, you're like, oh, I got to go get some apple juice and ribs.
Well, he was in the lounge a couple weeks ago. I got to meet him. Yeah. He was a cool guy, and you could definitely hear the passion in his voice when he was talking about things. And same thing with a lot of the cooks this weekend too. Just very passionate about what they were cooking, whether it be beans or whether it be ribs or fried squirrel or whatever.
Bloody Mary.
Yeah, whatever. I know you have a passion for that.
I do.
Yeah, good for you.
I make the perfect celery for it.
Oh yeah. Wow, do you have a recipe?
Take out a bag, rinse, cut, insert and drink.
Whoa, slow down there. Slow down, Julia Childs. Just give us that again. So anyway, it was a good weekend.
It really, really was.
Oh, great.
A lot of those cooks that like to sit around and smoke cigars while they're waiting on stuff to smoke, I guess. That was a good way to...
Well, there you go. They come smoke while they're smoking. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got you. So, yeah, that was a fun event. So, what do we got coming up this weekend? Saturday, we got a really cool event coming up, right?
Yeah, from noon to 5.
Yeah, it's our opportunities. Now, if you guys don't know, we strongly support our veterans. Whether all of our military, actually, whether active duty or World War II, we don't care. We strongly support the veterans. So this Saturday on the 16th, VFW is doing the Crossroads Freedom Ride, which is a motorcycle ride that winds up at VFW Hall. It's 2001 Lova Drive, VFW Post 4146. Now listen, it's going to be a big event. You don't have to be a veteran, and you don't have to ride motorcycles to come out. Because
I'm neither. I'll be there.
Yeah, because noon to 4, Stephanie Ross and Southern Drive Band is going to be out there.
We see her a lot.
I know, we do. I love those guys. Stephanie is just so great to listen to. We appreciate her and the band so much. But yeah, they're going to have food. You can come in, have a cigar, but we'll be there. And listen, all veterans get 10% off their cigars in our lounge all the time.
All the time.
Not just this Saturday, but all the time. So listen, if you're a veteran and you come in our lounge, even if you're active duty and you come in our lounge, let us know ahead of time. We'll give you 10% off your purchase.
Also, just to kind of piggyback that a little bit.
Yeah.
We do offer the 10% on cigars all the time for any type of veteran, current, whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. But we also need to state, we don't just sell cigars. We do have a little bit of merchandise in the lounge.
Absolutely.
That too is also 10% off as well.
It's also 10% off. We've got cutters, we've got T-shirts, we've got cases. We got all kind of cool stuff in there, and all of that is 10% off for veterans all the time, every day. So absolutely, let us know if you're military, active duty, or veteran, and we would love to extend that discount to you. And it's a very minor way for us to say thank you very, very much for your service, and we appreciate you very much. Sounds like a fun Saturday.
Well, speaking of that ride, you ever been a motorcycle guy, Randy?
I have never been a motorcycle guy.
Really?
Yeah.
I was decades ago.
Really?
Yeah, I had one for a short time. I don't know why I keep paying the extra $5 to keep it on my license.
Oh, yeah?
I haven't ridden in years.
Decades ago?
Decades.
Was it like one of those little battery-powered play school motorcycles? Or?
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Well, you're a young guy.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at. You're very young.
I mean, my very second vehicle was a motorcycle.
Oh, I see.
And I used to drive it around back and forth to high school and stuff like that.
Had
a good time.
Okay, gotcha.
Then I had a couple of really good friends get in an accident, and I was just like, yeah, I think I'm going to trade this in. But I still keep the license. At some point, I'm going to climb back on, which I don't know if the public really wants to know that.
Yeah, I don't really know that that's the right choice of words. But
I should probably relearn.
Yeah, you probably should. Yeah.
Start off in a Vespa.
There you go.
Moped.
You should do that. That I would pay money to see that, by the way.
Me on a moped?
Yeah.
I think I have videos.
Really?
I could.
And I'm pretty sure I need to see it live. Yeah. Right down the middle of Navarro. That would be awesome.
We were great, man. We were like 14, 15-year-olds, had 10 people, little moped gangs.
Yeah.
Just driving around. Top speed, 30 mile an hour.
Moped gangs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of boots, would you wear penny loafers?
No.
Anyway. Anyway, guys, listen, y'all stay with us this half hour because we're going to be talking about whiskeys and bourbons.
Yay, whiskey.
Yay, whiskey. We're going to be talking about cigars and their sizes and shapes and a few other things. We may dip into the mailbag, see what we got going this week too. So listen, enjoy the music. We're going to have a cigar and we'll meet you on the other side of the break. Club Classic Rock 106.9. Welcome back, guys. We got some good stuff for you this week. So in segment
wait.
two...
What about that song?
Oh, the song was great. The song leads us right into exactly what we're doing.
Right.
One bourbon.
One scotch.
One scotch. And nobody cares about beer.
We're not doing beer today.
Yeah, we're not doing beer. Yeah. Well, we are going to talk about bourbons and scotches for segment 2 this week. And in segment 3, we're going to get into cigars, their shapes, their sizes, what's the pluses, what's the minuses, and why you should try one over another. So, Shane, let's go ahead and talk about bourbons, scotches, whiskeys, ryes, brandies, the whole 9 yards.
Well, we start by saying I don't drink brandy. So
oh, really?
I don't really have much to help you out there.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
It really is.
Really?
Yeah, I like the song.
Your old is showing.
It is showing, yeah.
So what do you want to know?
Well, let's talk about, there's scotches and there's bourbons and then there's whiskey. I mean, what's the deal there?
And the most basic sense, all scotches, bourbons, they're whiskeys. But it's not necessarily true the other way around.
No, so wait a minute. You're telling me that all bourbons are whiskeys,
And all scotches are whiskeys.
but not all whiskeys are bourbons.
And not all whiskeys are scotches.
So a whiskey is just kind of an umbrella. It's kind of a catch-all.
Right.
I got
and the
you.
European version doesn't have the E.
Is there an E in whiskey?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, you're asking me this question?
I'm just asking.
Close one eye, look at it. There's an E in it.
Oh, there is a damn E. How about that? So all scotches are bourbons or whiskeys, but not all whiskeys are bourbons and scotches. So that begs the question, what's the difference between a scotch and a bourbon?
Well, before we start that, I mean, when you're talking about whiskey, be it scotch or bourbon, you're talking about alcohol that is distilled from a fermented grain mash.
Grain mash, like wheat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or the barley. Yeah. Anything, corn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything
All
like
right.
that.
All right.
I mean, as long as it's fermented from that, it's
Okay.
considered a whiskey.
It's not grapes. It's not potatoes.
Right. Which
it's not
is
either.
back to your brandy. Brandy is a great thing.
Right.
And
Right.
you know more about that than I do.
Yeah.
The brandy.
Yeah. We'll talk about brandy in a minute, but you got me hooked into the bourbons and scotches here. So.
Outside of the grain mash,
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of, I don't even know how to put this. You're kind of venturing into areas of national pride, varied spellings, and, bragging rights. I mean, Scotch, the Scot people from Scotland are the only ones allowed to call it Scotch.
Now, wait a minute. Scotch people are from
Scotch.
Scotland?
Scotch people.
Slow down here.
Well, no,
Slow
they
down.
make tape too. I don't know if they.
I got you.
Scots, they are allowed to call their whiskey Scotch.
Okay.
And it's actually protected by international law.
Really? So I just can't distill something and call it Scotch? Mm-mm. Oh, wow. How about that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it has to be 100% made in Scotland with Scottish ingredients. to be called
Really?
Scotch, yeah.
Wow.
And it has to be barrel aged a minimum of 3 years to have that special title
Okay.
of Scotch.
All right. All
Yeah.
right. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Bourbon's a little bit different.
Okay. So what's the deal on bourbon?
Well, you do know where the name comes from.
Kind of, but isn't it like French from like a couple hundred years ago? There was
Right.
a family by the name of Bourbon, or I don't know.
It's because of the French's participation in the Revolutionary War.
Oh, okay.
One of
Okay.
the royal families. We got help from them.
Ah,
so they named
okay,
the westernmost counties of what was then Virginia.
Right.
I mean, now it's eastern Kentucky, but they named them Bourbon County.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
Kentucky, they try and take control of, they're the only place that you can have bourbon.
Right.
They're the only ones. So that's where you end up with like things called Tennessee whiskey.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
I mean,
But I
we're
mean,
we're going way back in the history.
Yeah,
So-
but I mean, there's a lot of good bourbon, a lot of good whiskey made in Texas.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're getting around that.
I don't know either. I'm just wondering, but okay. Go ahead. I
Well,
didn't mean to
no.
interrupt.
I mean, you got any questions?
Well, I mean, what the hell is, I see scotches and they say, oh, it's a single malt. What the hell does that mean?
Single malt is from one distillery.
Really?
Yeah, everything comes from one distillery. It's distilled there, it's aged there. That is a single malt.
Okay, so if it's a really good bourbon or a really good scotch and it's a single malt, it's not diluted with blending? Is that
Right.
what I'm
Well,
hearing?
blended scotches means scotches from 2 or 3 different distilleries that they blend together.
Gotcha.
that's-
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
It says blended in the title.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. No, I'm with you. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. So a single malt is from a single distillery.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
So, I mean, all the ingredients come specifically from that place.
Okay, now you got places that say, "Oh, we're a pure Tennessee whiskey." The hell is the difference between a Tennessee whiskey and a regular whiskey?
Pride.
Pride.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
I mean, don't they do,
archaic things where they say, oh, no, well, we had it first. And
I mean, don't they have some kind of charcoal filter and it's actually
Right, well-
made in Tennessee, or?
that process can be done just about anywhere. I mean, it's not just pursuant to,
But it's got to be made in Tennessee for it to be Tennessee whiskey, right?
well, yeah, you would think so.
You would
I mean,
think so.
it's in the name.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, the only requirements for bourbon is that it's made from at least 51% corn.
Really?
And that's where the difference is between that and Scotch.
That's the only difference between
Yeah,
bourbon and
Scotch
Scotch.
is more of a barley. Bourbon, which is strictly an American thing, is just
Yeah.
made from corn, or 51% corn.
51% corn. Mm-hmm. Oh, gotcha. And then it's aged in oak barrels, right?
Yeah, charred oak barrels. Charred
Gotcha.
oak barrels.
And where is the most of that bourbon made? I mean, I know there's a lot.
I know
made
where a
in
lot
Texas.
of it's drank.
Yeah,
I don't
me
know where
too.
Most of it's made.
I mean, there's a lot of it made in Texas, but where's the most amount of bourbon made? Is that Kentucky or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I've never run the numbers to know for sure. But yeah.
Now, when we get back from the break, I want to ask you about rye.
Okay.
Because I'm typically not a big fan of rye, but I know a lot of people are. And I've had some rye, and it's not bad. It seems to vary a little bit, but I want to ask you about rye. Okay. And see where rye whiskey comes from. So listen, you guys join us on the other side of the song. We'll be right back. 106.9 Club Classic Rock. We are back, and thank you guys for joining us. Now, before the break, we were talking about different whiskeys, bourbons, scotches, what all that means, and I think what we've determined is that all bourbons and scotches are whiskeys, but not all whiskeys are bourbons, and not all whiskeys are scotches. So, right. Shane, talk to me about rye. What is rye?
Rye is similar to a bourbon, where it has to contain at least 51% rye in the recipe.
Okay.
And it's still aged the same, everything like that.
Okay.
At least a couple of years in the charred oak barrels.
Gotcha.
So it gives it a different flavor.
Right.
And the shorter that they age it, that's where you get more spicy notes and flavors into it.
Gotcha. That makes sense, because one of the things I don't really care about rye is sometimes it's got that spicy flavor that
a little kick in the back of the throat.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not sure I like that, but there's also different ryes, and some ryes I do like.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Let's just see. So you know what a straight whiskey is?
No.
I'm just trying to throw that one out there. See if you.
Oh, great! Thank you very much. Talk to me about a straight whiskey. What's
a straight whiskey? Is a lot like a single malt Scotch. It means it comes from one distillery. It's not blended.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, it's been aged at least 2 years. I mean, that's the requirements for a straight whiskey.
Perfect. And that's usually in charred oak barrels.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So, if it's not a straight whiskey, then I can assume it's a blended whiskey.
Right.
Okay. So, talk to me about, we're talking about good old America whiskey here. Talk to me about Canadian whiskey. I mean, there's like Canadian whiskey. There's blended Canadian whiskey. There's a million different types of whiskeys out there.
They're a little bit different. It can contain some rye, some corn, and I think some barley. I mean, they're a little bit, well, it's Canadians. They're a little bit freer to do what they want.
Yeah. It's made up north, eh?
Yeah.
Just like just like the Tennessee whiskey that's made in Tennessee, Canadian whiskey is made in Canada.
Hence, in the name. Canadian whiskey. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool.
So, all right, real quick. You know the difference between neat and on the rocks?
Well, neat is cool,
but you know what the difference is? So, like if you drink a whiskey or a Scotch neat, which a lot of people do, it's a great way to drink it. I've done it, a lot.
Yeah.
But they also say when it comes to especially bourbon and Scotch, actually, if you just put a couple of drops of water, just a little bit of water, a little bit of ice, let that melt a little bit. Yeah. What that does is that just opens up the flavor more. So you can taste it better than if you're just drinking it neat.
Now, what do they call it? They call it awakes the whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right, and that's why we drink it pretty much on the rocks, because it opens up those flavors, and you get a better flavor profile than if you just drink it neat.
I do like a neat whiskey every once in a while.
Okay, gotcha. Well, listen, guys, we got a few minutes left. We want to talk a little bit about different cigars and their shapes. Basically, the cigar that you're used to seeing, the traditional shape of the cigar, is called a parejo. But you've also seen the rectangular cigars, the box press cigars. So here's the thing about box press cigars. Do you know why they call them that?
Because they were cheap.
Yes.
No, not the cigar itself. The people making them.
The people making them were cheap. You're exactly right. When they would frugal. That's a much better word. Nah, I think we'll go with cheap. The people making the cigars would roll them, and they found that they could get more in a box if they were rectangular than if they were round. And back then, it was all about how much did it cost to ship them. So if they could get another 2 or 3. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If they could get another 2 or 3 cigars in a box, it decreased the shipping for the amount of goods that they were going to be sending up. So that's where box press cigars came from. The advantage that we see with box press cigars is
they don't roll off the table if you have to put it down real quick.
Exactly. They don't roll off the table because they're rectangular. Now, the shape that a lot of people aren't familiar with is called culebra. Now, culebra is Spanish for snake.
That's not that little animal that comes out of the woods and kills people?
No, that's chupacabra.
Oh.
Chupacabra. Yeah. Sorry, that's what my wife calls it. Chupacabra. The culebra is Spanish for snake, and it's actually 3 cigars intertwined with each other, and you can smoke them all at once, or you can untwine them and save them or share them with 2 of your friends.
I've seen those, and when you take them apart, they are very ugly, twisted little cigar.
Yeah. Well, people say that about me. I'm very ugly, twisted little. No. Anyway,
I say it about all of you.
Yeah. So so the shapes kind of define. Now the Parejo can come in different sizes and lengths, but that's the cigar that you're normally used to seeing. And it's a great cigar. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. The box press cigar, one of the advantages to the box press is since it's got the rectangular shape and they were pushed into such a small area, is that it's usually denser and it burns a little slower than a regular Parejo cigar. Now, the Culebra, never had one of those. You ever had one of those, Shane?
No. Which one's that?
That's the 3 cigars all intertwined.
No.
Never had one of those?
You were just talking about it, and I asked you which one is that.
I know. I
need to quit reading my paper.
I can't.
Start paying attention to the
need
show.
Need to prep for the show there,
No,
Shane.
I was reading. I just wasn't listening. That was my problem.
I can't give you any pluses or minuses there because I have never tried one of those and seriously have no input on that one.
No, I don't either.
I don't either. But those are the 3 main varieties of Parejo. So listen, I think we're going to have to wrap it up for this week, but we want to talk more about the Parejo shape cigars, and we're going to do that next week. So listen, go to our Facebook page, and if you want to ask questions about some of the whiskey, bourbon, Scotch stuff that we talked about this week, or if you want to ask questions about Parejos and some of the sizes and shapes, please ask us those.
Yeah, please do. We love the interaction. It's great filler for the show.
So, please do go to our Facebook page and make a comment and ask us a question. We'll answer that on our radio show because there's like lots of different cigar sizes, and some are there for a reason, and some are there just to kind of show off the skill of the cigar roller.
The roller.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We appreciate you being here. We're here at 5 o'clock every Sunday on 106.9 Classic Rock, and as always,
smoke them if you got them.
And we got them.
This has been the Old Stogie Radio Show. Tune in each and every Sunday at 5 p.m. to catch up with Randy and Shane about their favorite pastime, drinking whiskey and smoking cigars. Find out more and book them to enhance your next event at OldStogieCompany.com.